Welcome back to Alpha Centauri. Let's load this up. So, 2170.
Turn complete.
So let's find out where we left off. You'll notice it's back. I think I've got everything recovered. There was at one point a question about blurriness, and I'm not sure exactly what caused this, but it seems one of the episodes was exceptionally blurry. This could be a couple things, but I think it was due to the way it was recording. I had like full screen instead of a region, so now I've got a giant region selected. Just to make sure, try to watch this in the highest quality possible. That should be 720p for most things. This does not record in 1080p. It will not. It's just not big enough and stuff. So let's find out what happens next.
Enemy project initiated. Production complete.
Initiating enemy projects, eh? Well, fine then. Here we are. Network node is taking 3 turns to complete. Looking pretty good, I think. We'll just let that guy sit and Shift-H him. And we need this guy to build a sensor. So, this guy will heal. I should give these names.
Turn
I want this. I want this Bob. I'm gonna call him Bob. I want Bob to heal. I'm gonna give Bob another turn to heal. The AA is gonna wait, and this is Jim. Jim the gunfoil. He needs to heal some more.
complete.
Come on, Jim, heal up. Let's go, AA. Almost ready.
Indigenous life form.
Ah, mind worms. Let's go, Bob. You can do this. 3 to 2. That's not the best of odds, but it'll work. We'll go with that. Yeah, go, Bob.
Production complete.
Woo! Hummel Citadel, build a network node. Now, the missing episode had the voiceover, but alas. What should we build here? That's a simple answer. Transport foil, followed by a colony pod. Followed by these, because okay, that worked. And, yeah, that. So, let's see what tech we get. Hit space. Oh my gosh! AA has arrived at the Citadel. Let's unleash its powers, I say.
There are two kinds of scientific progress. The methodical experimentation and categorization which gradually extend the boundaries of knowledge, and the revolutionary leap of genius which redefines and transcends those boundaries. Acknowledging our debt to the former, we yearn nonetheless for the latter. Academician Prokhor Zakharov, addressed to the faculty.
So here we see more tech. This is describing current and actually the nature of scientific progress. This is how things go, I can tell you from experience. As you can see here, researchers are making giant strides in the field of nonlinear mathematics, and apparently knowing how spirals and circles and things work gives you particle impactors. Not sure how that one works, but it's a nice weapon to have. So let's take a look at what we're building. The Impact Rover, see, it's this funky looking thing here, and we get the Impact Rover, which makes it sound like we're going to run into stuff, but we're not, because we're better than that. The Laser Skim Chip, we're going to upgrade to the Impact Skim Chip, which we're going to say good. Impact Battery, and the Impact Squad, which I do not want.
Terraform complete.
Bob is going to heal up, and Jim is still healing.
Turn complete.
Jim is still healing. Aha, we have sensor array, so let's build a farm,
Terraform complete.
and let's let Bob heal up some more.
Turn complete.
Oh, hello, Zakharov. From Channel 5, yes. Ah, I'm vigilant. I like that. Match wits. Yes, yes, it is a pleasure to match wits with me. Alright, so, unethical research nonsense. Of course you are a man of reason. We shall trade. I don't know how he doesn't have boats yet, though. That's kind of weird. Anyways, let's go ahead and trade.
There are only 2 ways in which we can account for a necessary agreement of experience with the concepts of its objects. Either experience makes these concepts possible, or these concepts make experience possible. Immanuel Kant, Critique of Pure Reason, Data Links.
So the first thing you might say is, what? This didn't give you, like, nukes? Why'd you give him boats? Well, true, but it gave me hypnotic trance, and the hypnotic trance is really nice, because it's a defense against mind worms. It also helps me get closer to these things. And these are both nice texts. So here's the flavor there. The secrets of the human brain. See, we're working on this in modern day stuff, but we're not nearly close enough yet. And the reason is that we don't have social psych down. Remember, social psych was all about finding mathematical models of psychology where that we could then use with biogenetics and combine it to get the secrets of the human brain. But we don't have those mathematical models of psychology yet, so yeah. Still, why are we giving him boats in exchange for this? Well, hypnotic trance is useful, and the other reason is he was going to find boats anyways. It's a pretty easy research. And this way, we don't have to research this. He's good at research. We're not. It's good for us to get this. Yay! We did something. And now we have a bigger monument, and we have more grass on the ground, and I still like this one the best. And lots of other things here, but... Social engineering. We'll come back to that at the end of all this. Let's go through this first, because there's a lot to get through here. We're going to have several trades. You can see we've got this trade, and then we've got at least one more, and maybe another one beyond that. So we're going to get Planetary Networks in exchange for formers. I don't know how he's been able to do things without formers, but you never know. Maybe.
If our society seems more nihilistic than that of previous eras, perhaps this is simply a sign of our maturity as a sentient species. As our collective consciousness expands beyond a crucial point, we are at last ready to accept life's fundamental truth, that life's only purpose is life itself. Chairman Shen Jiyang, looking God in the eye.
Yeah, take that, God. We're going to look you in the eye. So there's the text over here. Planetary Networks is essentially the internet, and as such, it gives us the hologram theater, which is like a movie version of YouTube and everything, Netflix, all stuck together in joyful holograms of amazingness. The virtual world allows our network nodes to act like they were hologram theaters, and that's useful because hologram theaters are expensive. Probe teams, that gives us spies, gives us planned economics, which we'll talk about later, and librarian citizens. Also, you might be able to, from this point, get an idea of what Yang is like. Yang is all about collective consciousness, and I think a lot of people are a little sketchy on that concept, especially since Yang does it in a very atrocious manner. Finally, this whole quote here is talking about life's only purpose is life itself. What he's talking about here is not some sort of big philosophical, well, I mean, it is a big philosophical thing, but he's saying that, look at it life scientifically. Life exists only for its own self. You've got molecules that come together, and they stay that way because, they don't fall apart. So you find stable molecules. They get large and complicated, and you get stable proteins. And any sort of molecule or protein or shape or, tiny virus and then eventually bacteria that can survive in the harsh conditions of whatever they were living in. If that can survive, then it does survive, and therefore life's only purpose is just, life itself. Which does maybe make something nihilistic. I don't know, but I do agree with this philosophical point, even though I don't agree with the way Yang goes about it. Let's take a look at the units. We get the probe team, which you'll notice is on a speeder, so that we can move it around faster. We're not going to bother putting armor on it. That'd just be silly. You could, however, put this on a boat if you wanted to, and sometimes I've done that before. Planned, that's an economic type, and again, we'll come back to that one later. Last trade looks like polymorphic software in exchange for ethical calculus. I'm good with that.
Some vices miss what is right because they are deficient, others because they are excessive in feelings or in actions, while virtue finds and chooses the mean. Aristotle, Nicomachean Ethics, Data Links.
So this gives us the children's creche. It's actually what we were researching, so we're going to have to pick a new thing to research, but that's cool. It also gives us the democratic social model and some new technologies coming up, which is gene splicing. That's the one I really want because that removes nutrient restrictions. The children's creche is a really nice base facility that improves growth of your base, the efficiency of your base, and the morale of units produced by your base. Here's the flavor text here, and it addresses the quote from Aristotle very well, I think. So Aristotle's asking, how shall we live? And he says, well, virtue is, if we live by virtue, then it's a balance between deficiency and excess. And those are things that can kind of sort of be modeled mathematically. I mean, we may not know how to, but they sound like they can. So if you've got social psych, which is a mathematical understanding of psychology, and you have equations, then you might be able to eventually come up with equations that determine appropriate human behavior. Eventually, you'd get a mathematics that is ethical. Now, you'd think that this would be like the last thing in the game and such, but really, once you've got this, you can do things like gene splicing, and you can finally figure out what intellectual integrity really is and what that means. How can you splice genes correctly? This, of course, also allows good democracies and allows us to finally get a decent school. Nope, we'll come back to that later. Let's exchange maps, cartographic information. So we'll exchange maps, we'll see where he is. That is fine with me. And the last thing, ooh, now this is interesting. I thought the last one would just be like, would you like to continue being friends? But nope, he wants to give us money. Well, specifically, he wants money from us, and then he wants us to give him money, and so on. Which I find a little unusual. But I will absolutely take it, because he's only going to take half our money, which is quite a lot. We'll lose the wealth status, but that's fine. We didn't need it in the first place. And he's going to give us like 500 credits. So it's going to be awesome. I think that's all. And he says that's all. So we're done. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, we're done. Thank you. Sorry about that. So because we had to change a new research goal, we could go for this, which is gives us mindworms. This is the nutrient per square, which is the one we're selecting. And this is one that's been up here for a while. Gives us police state, command nexus, and perimeter defenses. Woo, perimeter defenses. Let's go with this.
Production complete.
Yay, we build a prototype. It says it's a vehicle prototype, but it's not. The thing we built, it was over here. Anyways, Bob. And Fred the former is going way over this way. This is the thing we just built. This you can hear by the music. Apparently that's a vehicle somehow. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll put H to hold him. And Jim is finally healed up as much as he'll ever be. So we'll have him travel
Turn
and
complete.
explore. Before we move on to the next turn, let's take a look. Looks like he really needed boats. He's on a tiny island, and while there might be land right here, there's no land directly connecting anywhere in here. So, yeah, he definitely needed that. I can also see why he might have population, because, you know, if you don't have any room to expand, you're just going to get population. So, that's interesting. Something else. Oh, yes, E. Let's hit the E button. And E takes us to social engineering. E for engineering. Haha. So social engineering, this is kind of the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of how your faction works. And this is where you get to change the rules of how your faction works. Your society has these different aspects to it. Economy, efficiency, support, morale, police, growth, planet, probe, industry, and research. Some of them are self-explanatory, such as research and growth. And others are a little questionable, like what's the difference between economy and efficiency, and what does support mean? So economy is how much energy your squares produce. With more economy, your squares produce more energy, and so do your bases. With less economy, your bases and squares produce less energy. Efficiency is, well, it's how efficient things are. That might be a little odd to think of, but it's the farther away your base is, the more inefficiency you have, because you've got all sorts of bureaucracy and you have to run your place and everything. So by having a good efficiency, you keep inefficiencies low and you retain more energy and you're spending less on, paperwork. Support, that's how many units you can support from a base, how many minerals it takes. Morale is when you build a new unit, does it come out at green or better than green or what? It also provides bonus dependent on your morale level. Police, how tolerant is your society of police? That leads to how many military units can be used as police. Now, it sounds like a bad thing, but police is actually a good thing because that means that the more police units you have, the better you can tolerate drones. If you build a lot of base facilities and you have a little bit of psych, you won't need police, but, it can be useful. Growth reduces the number of squares needed to grow. planet improves or disimproves your improves or harms your relationship with planet. That is, can you get stuff from fungus? Do mindworms like you or not like you? I mean, even with a high planet score, they still don't like you. But with a high planet score, you have a better chance of capturing mindworms, I suppose. Next, we come to probe teams. This is your resistance to probe teams and your, if you get any benefits to probe teams. Mostly it's still resistance. Industry is the number of squares needed to produce something. You'll see that we currently have a -1 to that. And research is how long it takes to research stuff. You've got different then models of society that you can look at. You've got your politics, democratic, fundamentalist, and this one is police state. Your economics, there's the free market, planned, and green. Values, knowledge, power, and wealth. Future society, eudaimonic, cybernetic, and thought control. So how do you want your future to be? What sort of values do you have? You can change these as you like, and it doesn't cost much. You'll see it's 16 per change. Well, it's 16, then it goes up a bit. Sometimes it's only 32. Depends on exactly what the change is. But as you change these, they give you these bonuses and benefits, and they change all of this a bit. They all have a drawback to them. So keep that in mind. Nothing's going to be perfect. Down here, you can change your energy distribution. If you want to put more energy into labs, there you go, more energy into labs. If you want more energy into the economy and get more money, well, there you go, you can do that too. Later on, I'm going to switch this to 10% psych, and that way I divert some energy to keeping people happy, 50% labs, and 40% economy. That's generally the way I play things. So what are we going to do now? Well, we could try this out. Yeah, that would be something. It would keep our inefficiency. It would keep our efficiency 0, as we cancel out. We get lots of growth rate, plus 40% growth rate, so that would help out a good bit. And our industry goes to, well, 0, normal production rate. Right now, it takes a little bit to produce something. On the plus side, yeah, let's just do this, because really, if what we want from this is we want this to improve our secret project. This guy is going to take minerals away from the base, so we don't necessarily want democracy yet, but we definitely want planned economics, and it's also good to only change one thing in a year if you're looking to save money. But maybe we don't want to save any money at all. After all, we probably want to be able to hurry this along whenever we can, as soon as we can. So let's set turn complete.
Indigenous life form.
Oh no! Jim! Run away! How long will it take at this turn?
Insufficient energy.
392, and we have 329. Interesting, right? Bob's still healing up. Looks like those mindworms ran away. Yeah.
Terraform complete.
Okay. Take that, mindworms. Alright. Bob's healed up enough. Let's go investigate the stuff.
Production complete. Pod recovered.
Oh! A dimensional gate. This should be very interesting. Well, that wasn't a very far dimensional gate, but I see a couple interesting things here. First of all, I'm across this little ocean. Second of all, there's a road. Why is there a road? Wonder if that's where Deirdre, the Gaians, used to be. Hey, we have formers.
Turn complete. Enemy project initiated.
So basically, I would move the move that thing over, but I want to make sure I've got enough energy for the secret project. Aha! Especially since we need it now. Okay, it's been a couple turns. It was 392 a couple turns ago. We have 365. It's not enough, but let's see. So we made 3 turns progress. Let's see if that helps at all.
Request confirmation.
Oh, goodness, it does. So 320. Now, I have a thought. What if we increase the industry? It would take 16 credits to increase industry, so we'd be paying 16. But by increasing industry, we'd remove one whole column of this grid. Yeah, that's something to think about. And that's going to be really important, since that message that came up essentially said that the other guys were one turn away from getting this. So let's build a mine, farm, have this guy, he should really upgrade. So, yeah, we're going to do that as soon as we're done exploring.
Turn complete.
Okay, now it's a good thing I remembered to do that, otherwise I would have hit enter and that would have been bad. Switch to planned. Switching to planned, you'll see, makes our money and breakthroughs, we get less money and breakthroughs take longer. But we have a better growth rate. Woo! Oh my gosh, a drastic change in our society will cost us 16 energy credits. Okay. I wish it only took 16 bucks to change our society. Haha, we've reduced it from 14 to 10. And now,
Request confirmation.
boom! Huge, huge increase. Or, well, savings or whatever. I don't know. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It was 320, it's now 240. We can easily spend that. And we've still got plenty of money left over. So what this means is that next turn, we're going to get that, and no one else is going to get it. They're not going to be able to take it from us. It also means that these other guys are going to, their production's going a little bit faster than it was before. This guy's done now. He's going to grow next turn. And of course, our growth is actually up. So these guys are probably going to be taking a little bit longer to grow, and now it's like, poof, they're right there. On the other hand, look at what happened to the energy bit. Some problems. So, something to think about. To alleviate that, we can build a children's creche. And I'll put that in before the network node. So let's find out what we get. Let's watch the movie for the weather paradigm.
Indigenous life form.
Oops, that's a problem.
Project complete.
Alright, now let's watch the movie for the weather paradigm.
I shall not confront planet as an enemy, but shall accept its mysteries as gifts to be cherished. Nor shall I crudely seek to peel the layers away like the skin from an onion. Instead, I shall gather them together as the tree gathers the breeze. The wind shall blow and I shall bend. The sky shall open and I shall drink my fill. Gaian Acolyte's Prayer.
So the weather paradigm, as you can see there, you can pause the video or just wait for this screen. The weather paradigm increases the terraforming speed by 50%. Essentially, we've cut in half all the time for all the terraformers. And we've done that for every task except for remove fungus, which is unfortunate. But there is a enhancement we can give to formers. There's a way we can, get around that. Don't worry about it. The formers that we have now can build condensers and boreholes, and they can raise and lower terrain, even though we haven't discovered the technology to do that normally. The fact that we've come up with this weather paradigm, we can now, I don't know if it's control weather, but we understand it a lot better. We can, we've got this extra terraforming stuff, which is a huge benefit. Obviously, you can play the game without it, and you can win the game without it, obviously, but it's a big help. It's a big help. So, as you can see, we've built it in this very secret giant pyramid with all the flashy blinky lights on it. So, that's where I put all my secret projects, is in a giant pyramid with flashy lights on it. So, I don't know about you. Yeah. You can see our monument's even bigger and fancier now. We've got grass almost everywhere. This city in the background has gotten nice. So, we're getting somewhere. Of course, everyone else now has to change what they're doing. And actually, so do we. We need to do something else now. Let's build a children's creche. Actually, no. Let's build an extra former. And then we'll build a children's creche.
Production complete.
That extra former is going to go out and he's going to flatten areas and remove fungus and stuff and let us expand better, basically. That's what he's going to do. That's all. No big deal. How much will it cost to upgrade this guy? 60. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit, indeed. There's no reason to upgrade him yet, so we'll just shift hold him again. This guy, however, I'm going to push L, and L puts him onto the transport foil. Ah, very sexy. The alternative method is to park the transport foil nearby and just have him move onto it. The transport foil is going to go over here. But watch what happens as soon as he moves twice. Oh, it didn't show up. Never mind. Watch as I'm completely silly. What I was going to count on was that as he gets, generally when you end a turn with the transport foil next to land, usually it assumes that you want to, disembark. But I suppose since we've put him on an automatic course, he's not going to do that. So that's nice. Otherwise, we'd have to hit spacebar every turn because he'd be near land. That would be a little annoying. All right, come on, Bob. Let's explore. Yeah, let's stay out of the fungus though.
Turn complete.
Never mind, we can't stay out of the fungus that very well. All right, so that's put us pretty far along. Oops, I don't know if you caught that, but we're leading in tech, and we've still got the territory. We obviously don't have the population or the wealth, unfortunately, although I thought we were growing population quite nicely. Oh well. We have improved we're potent, apparently. We're still noble. And as you can see there, faction dominance, we went up while he stagnated this turn. So that was pretty nice. We're in a solid second place. This guy's coming up in third, but don't worry about him. These guys, they couldn't handle it. They're probably on islands or something. I don't know. At any rate, that's all for today. We'll come back next time and more exploration. See what else we're going to do with these bases. Until then, don't catch on fire.